our show School of Life by Indian School of Image Management. Every evening on Instagram at 6 p.m. and we bring to you every single day a new speaker, a new journey, and sharing their journey with all of you and their challenges with all of you. So today also we have another speaker with us. Welcome, Janali. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Absolutely great. Hope you're keeping well and healthy.
Yes, but bored at home.
Yes, we all are indeed, right? So this is also another way
Yeah.
to connect to people and, not get bored and just interact and at least keep that, social interaction on through social
Yeah,
media, isn't it?
yes. I usually go live to talk to people, to my followers, and there's a collaboration going on.
Yes, wonderful tool social media is, and so keep us connected. I sometimes actually think that what if there was no social media, what would we do? In this lockdown of 2 months, it would have been a nightmare. So good,
I
at least we
know.
All right, so welcome everyone. I'm just going to welcome everybody who just joined us today. Welcome to School of Life by Indian School of Image Management. I'm your host Sonia Dubey Divan. I'm the founder and managing partner of Indian School of Image Management. And in School of Life, we bring to you every day a new speaker. We share their journey. We ask them to talk about their journey, the challenges, what they did, and how they overcome those challenges. That's what School of Life is, where we say that the biggest life lessons are not learned in the classroom, they are learned in life itself, and the biggest teacher is life itself. So today, in that journey, we again have another amazing speaker with us, Janali, and I'll take an opportunity to introduce all of you to Janali Doshi. She is the founder of Taste of Street. Yes, that's the correct name, right?
Yes.
Taste of Streets.
Yeah.
And she has been working on Taste of Street since 2 years and she's completely in love with it. She's a food blogger. She's also a teacher. So that's amazing because being a fellow teacher, that's amazing to connect with another teacher also. So welcome, Janali, to our show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me, actually.
Great. So, Janali, just we'll get into your journey and to first of all understand that how did you actually become an influencer? What actually motivated you to become an influencer?
Yeah, actually, one of my friends, she used to have a college project for actually to know about food bloggers, and then she told me that being a big foodie, you should try this on. And finally, when I tried it on, it was so much fun that I actually made a career out of it.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
And how
yeah,
did you come up
that's
with
the
the
start.
name? That's the start. And how did you come up with the
Okay.
name Taste of Sweets?
Yeah, I'm a big time foodie. I actually like eating food. You can say that. Okay, but then I like fancy food as well, but I like street food more. Like the street
Right.
foods are amazing, and I am into street food more. So I was like, taste is of streets. So like taste of streets. I would tell people that what is nice on streets. That is how it was important to us.
Wow, wow. So basically, you took inspiration from your love of street food and then you came up with this idea and the name Taste of Street. That's beautiful. And
Yes.
tell me, how do you like, you must have started in food blogging. As of now, this industry is so cluttered. There's so many food bloggers out there. So, how do you think that you stand out of all the other food bloggers that we have?
Okay. I would say we are a community and everyone is good in their own way. But then everyone has made fancy food look more good, or maybe they would say people are into traveling and into food and lifestyle. I have made food as niche. Like that is the only thing I'm looking forward right now. Also, I'm actually showing at different location where to get good street food.
Right.
So I guess Taste of Streets is being known only to know where to get good street food, because I think that is the most important thing. People could afford that they could actually eat it. And
Right.
I don't think most of the people would go to a fancy restaurant and pay 5,000 bill, and that would be more difficult for them.
Right. So what
Yeah.
you're trying to say is that Taste of Street is for the masses, for everyone. They can follow you, they can actually come to your blog, and they can actually find the on the road, on the streets, where they can find good quality food. So you are basically for
Yes.
the masses. You are not really catering to that specific group of people who would go to a fancy restaurant. You are basically talking to everybody out there, right?
Yes, I just feel this is kind of heart to heart relation. If you don't know what people want from you, it is of no use that you are opening a page and telling people that I bought a vodka shot for rupees 3,000 at this fancy place. I
Right.
don't think people would actually afford it.
Right. So it
Yeah.
is all about food only and street food only. You don't mix up like fashion and a little bit of like a lot of people do a little bit of this and little bit of that and food, by the way. You just concentrate only on food. Is that so?
Yeah, because I think food is the most important and loved thing.
Yeah.
Ki everyone is into food. At end, if you don't even go traveling, you always find attractive food around you.
Right.
Even if right now in quarantine I'm sharing recipes and people are following the recipes, that how do they want, how am I making, and they really try on that recipe. So even at right now when I am homesick right now, when I am they are making, just contacting me and talking to me ki ha this recipe was amazing, or maybe you should try this on more better. So that is how it
Right.
works.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's really inspiring. Tell me, Janali, obviously this is not something very easy, like food blogging and running your own Instagram account and then having, constant updates, finding that best place because you are recommending and people who follow you would actually go and try it out at times and that shows your credibility. So there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. So, what are the challenges that you have faced or do face right now only also as a food blogger?
Okay. First of all, I think you should actually get good pictures, good videos that people actually feel like watching it. If it is
Right,
blur or not worthy, people would not actually see it and people would not like it and they won't go and try.
right,
I'm a person who actually recommends street food, so I have to constantly see whether the lights are proper or not because I need to post this on social media.
right,
A bad quality video or photo would not work over there.
correct,
I would tell you one incident where there is this uncle who sells amazing sandwiches of rupees 10. Just small
right,
slice of sandwich. So
right,
I started taking videos of this and it went viral and people started contacting me, where is this exact location? Please help us. And I did help us. And uncle actually told me that many people came here, showed me the video and told me to give me the same sandwich. And I
wow,
was like, okay, this is what I want actually to people to do it. I
right,
want them to see what I am eating and it is amazing. You need to eat it.
wow.
That was my aim and I feel that was achieved.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you also must have faced some challenges when you started out. So, what were the challenges at the beginning when you started out your blog? What were the challenges that you faced?
Initially you actually don't know what is going around. You need to figure out, you need to learn it from other pages, like how they are dealing with this, how good photography they are doing, why is their content more viral.
Right,
So challenges initially is like you need to see, I would say it's not a challenge, but I would say it was a learning process. Yeah, I am learning things to get a good photo, to use my camera angle. Challenges like people used to follow me initially, but then they used to unfollow me.
right,
So later on, I came to know that the main thing is being a food blogger, you need to maintain relation with them.
right,
If you don't maintain a good relationship with them, they are not interested talking to you. They are not
correct,
only interested in food pages. So
right.
sometimes I run a campaign like thing that if there is no one listening to you, we are listening to you. I know you don't need an advice, you want someone to listen to you and here we are.
Wow,
So
that's
maybe
so
that works.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So, what are the brands? Do you only do street food, or you just told us a very amazing story about this uncle which went viral? But how do you also work with brands, collaborate with brands and all?
Yes, I do collaborate with brands which I feel are genuinely connecting to my niche and
Mm-hmm.
would recommend their food also. For example, we can say a good oil brand or maybe something important thing. Recently, I endorsed a fitness brand because they wanted to cater to the people who actually eat unhealthy food and where people find it on my page. Because we show where do you get an unhealthy food recipe that this is most unhealthiest for your body, but this is yummy. So they were
Right,
like, we like people to eating junk, but we want them to exercise, and that is why I came in. So I
right,
told them that yes, I am eating junk. I am actually eating junk, but that does not mean I'm staying unfit. I
right,
am here to actually motivate you that you eat it, but you take it out of your body also to
right.
balance it with you.
That's
Yeah.
a good
So
point.
maybe yeah, but then I read about the brands. Is it
Right.
really genuine? If I am recommending any product,
Mm-hmm.
is it actually worthy to recommend it or not? Maybe if it's not beneficial just for monetary benefit, I should actually not do it like that.
Right, right, right. That's really nice. And
Yeah.
actually, it's nice to know that you put in a thought process that only the brands that are connecting to you and the ones that are relevant to your niche. Because I have seen that a lot of people become an influencer sometime just to maintain and have the brands coming to them kind of let go of their niche and then try to do everything that everyone is doing. So it's really inspiring that you are sticking to your niche and you are selecting the brands that you want to work with. So that's really really wonderful.
Yeah.
Tell me one aha moment, like I think the viral video that you spoke about, the uncle that went viral, that would have been amazing. But is there one aha moment that has happened in your 2 year journey which really stood out for you?
Uh, I would say there are many actually. One of this is you contacting me, talking to you as a influencer over here. You want to know my success story. That's a oh gosh, this is happening to me moment. Recently I started collabing with Amazon and I got verified over there. So that was like wow, okay, verified at least on a big brand.
Right.
One of my other video which actually went like 1,30,000 views. I was like, okay, like 1,30,000 is a big number right now. Not, I do not even have that much of followers.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it is like sometimes you feel like, okay, we are being blessed right now. Also, my biggest aha moment was when I bought my camera out of my food vlogging money. When I finally bought my DSLR into my hands, I was like, finally, this was my dream to get a DSLR, and I got this.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
really got it, and my hand, and I was like, I have achieved this.
Right.
I have worked so hard to get this, to get my photography more better. And since childhood, I always wanted a DSLR,
Right.
and food blogging got me that.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah,
So it's just the
yeah.
little, small little things and the joys and the pleasure that you enjoy, and that's really good because success is not just these big events, it could be these small events also, which you really dreamt of and you got them. So that's also aha moment, and that's really nicely said, Janani. I can see the smile on your face, it says that already. All right.
Yeah.
Tell me one more thing. You said that you have to keep your audience engaged. So, what are the ways that you keep your audience engaged? Like, what are your ways of keeping your audience engaged? Otherwise, in lockdown, how do you do it?
Okay, sometimes I go live. Right now, even my audience is watching us going
Yeah.
live, or maybe an recipe video kind of thing. Like I made recipe food, which is food available into your house. Like if I'm making dal fry kind of thing, dal fry is a thing which is available at everyone's place, and you can make yummy food out of it.
Right.
That is how we engage. I talk to them. They ask me which location is what is good at this place, or is
Right.
this place recommended by you? And sometimes that happens like I don't know. I haven't visited that place. Is the food good or not? I cannot judge it without going. So if I know any of the food bloggers who actually visited that place, I would tell ki rather than asking me, ask them because they actually have a knowledge about it.
Right.
So I don't think that the other food bloggers are my competitors, but they are my community, and audience is the final consumer to you who wants to know what to get, where to get. So I guess maintaining relations is like you are like my friend. I am here to listen to you to give solutions to your problem.
Absolutely. Yes. So
Yeah.
very collaborative approach is what you use, and that's beautiful because a lot of people believe in competition than collaboration. So that's a really beautiful thing to collaborate with other people because together we can be much more better in what we do, isn't it?
Stronger.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me one more thing now. This is a question that everyone is asking. In fact, people are scared of after this lockdown will get lifted. People are even scared of going to restaurant and eating food. So, what do you think will be the future? Like, will people will really go out on the street and eat how they used to be eating earlier? What do you think will be the impact of this situation, the COVID situation?
I believe that it requires time to heal everything. Okay, initially we are not going to restaurants for our safety, not to get corona affected or something. But yeah, precautions can be taken easily, and at least for some months I would recommend not to order food from somewhere or not to eat outside. Rather, you can use YouTube or you can use my channel or someone else's channel to know which recipe is available with what.
Right, right. So you're saying that for
Yeah.
some
So
time it's not
the,
recommended.
yeah, because see, after all, your safety is our priority. We don't want you to get sick, or we don't want you to fall ill or something like that. So I would rather say don't go outside, or if you want to still go and have it, take precautionary measure to check whether they are wearing gloves, check their temperature, see how sanitized the place is, and then eat it. It's not like I am saying don't go, but yeah, avoid going. If it's
Right.
not important, avoid going.
Point.
Yeah, for some people who are like alone over here or some other place, they do not have an option. So they are not even good cook. So yeah, you go, but you have to check whether they are safe enough to visit or not.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense. And how do you also said, and I read about you that you're also a teacher. So how do you manage being a blogger and a teacher simultaneously? How does it work?
Yeah, I have a habit to schedule my things one day prior. Like tomorrow I have to do this. Tomorrow I have to go to this class, this class. Tomorrow I have to visit church gate. Tomorrow I have to do this. I have to
Right.
change my clothes. I need time in between or something like that. So
Right.
yeah, I keep on checking and have a checklist kind of thing in my head going. And if something I think that I might not remember, I would set a reminder in my phone. Okay, Janali, I have to do this. So I'll tell you one of my experience that there was one place I have to visit in Churchgate on that day itself, and I also had my 3 tuition backlog.
Okay.
So I gave them time, like 12 o'clock I'll be there, but 12 o'clock sharp I'll be there. So by 11:55 I am always on time. By 11:55 I was there, and I told them I'll be leaving at 2. So by
Right.
2 I left, then I caught a train, got back here, and then changed my clothes and then went to my tuition.
Wow.
And my tuitions were at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I manage everything like
Right.
that. So I feel if you have idea of what are you going to do tomorrow, you are well prepared before.
Right.
And sometimes it happens like you don't have time in between to change. So I carry my clothes like teacher. If you're a teacher, you cannot wear your food blogging clothes over there. You're going a fancy resto and you cannot. So we have to balance between both.
True.
I buy clothes which are suitable for both the case, or
Right.
sometimes I carry my clothes.
Right.
Okay, yeah, say I will change here and then I directly go.
Wow.
So I directly take an auto and visit the tuition.
So it sounds like a lot of planning, and you seem like a very organized person who kind of do everything very planned, very organized. So that's wonderful, and that's something that we all can learn to plan in advance, which not a lot of us actually do. So this is really wonderful to actually take back that if you want to do something, you need to plan things out. You can't just like go ahead and start doing things. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Janali, I'm just going to throw in this one thing which I don't know if I told you when we spoke last, that we are going to have a little rapid fire now. So I'm going to ask you a few questions which
It's
are
fine.
very simple about food mostly. So brace yourself. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
All
Sure.
right.
Go ahead.
So your first question is that one street food that you're missing the most right now.
Pani puri.
Ah, me
Definitely pani puri.
nothing can top that, right? All right.
I know.
Your next question is photos from mobile or photos from DSLR?
Photos from DSLR.
DSLR.
Definitely DSLR.
Yeah, and now that you have your own, you
Well,
obviously would go for photos with DSLR.
but then I believe from camera also you get good phone. You can get a good photo, but I guess rather than selecting this both, we should select sunlight. So
Right,
if you get proper lights, it doesn't matter which thing you are using.
right, absolutely. All right, and next question, your favorite Indian cuisine?
The favorite Indian cuisine, I would say roti sabji anywhere. Like I would actually visit to a fancy restaurant at the end and would actually order roti sabji
Roti.
because I feel that is one thing you can actually feel like, okay, that's nice, my stomach is full.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for me. That's dal chawal. I can just go anywhere and just order dal chawal, and I'm fine. So yeah, I can totally relate. Simple food, and it fills you up, and it gives you that little, cozy, homely feeling also. So I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Next question: one celebrity that you would love to cook for.
Hrithik Roshan.
Hrithik.
I want him to get fat. That guy has amazing abs and I'm jealous of his abs. So I just want him to get fat.
Oh dear Lord, I can't even imagine Hrithik being fat, but okay.
I know.
He will also get these little, like little, what do you call it?
Yeah,
Laddu.
but then if but then I cook for him, I can actually meet him. Like that's
Yes.
like, oh gosh, it's sick.
Look at you. All right. All right. So next question to you is one of the weirdest thing that you have ever tasted on the street.
Sushi. Okay, sushi is not bad. I would not say sushi is bad. Sushi is not my type. I
Okay.
am say तड़कता फड़कता खाने वाली चीज वाली लड़की. I don't like say बिना मसाले वाला food. I would rather have veg kolhapuri, which is very spicy, or would have steamed momos with
Right.
mayonnaise and Szechuan
Right.
chutney. But then I cannot actually stand sushi. It's like it's too bland. You cannot feel a taste in it.
True. No, it
Yeah.
is a very acquired taste, I would say. So I actually agree with you that it is a very different taste and it's not for everyone. That's true. Last question to you: savory food or sweet?
Savory food any day. I'm not a sweet person like that. Though in whole I'm sweet, but then I like spicy food more. I cannot stand sweet food actually. It's like too much of sweet. Now I think I need something spicy to just gel that up again.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
if I have to take a last bite of something, that would be definitely spicy food. Because I like that taste more than sweet food.
Right. So you are Janali
Yeah.
is a sweet person, but she likes savory food. I think that's what we can say. Right. So that
Yeah,
was wonderful
correct.
talking to you, Janali, today. If I have to, and this is one, we are almost coming to the close of our live today, and one thing that I would actually want to ask you is this is something that I ask all my speakers, and it's on the basis of your own journey. If you have to complete the statement that success comes to those who, okay, and how would you, keeping your journey in mind, would complete the statement?
Success come to those who keep on learning. I guess learning is a never-ending process. So success actually come to people who keeps on learning from things, observing things around them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So keep learning. I think that's a great advice. And one advice that you want to give to all the audiences right now as a parting thought, one quick advice.
I cannot say this is an advice, but then I just feel whatever you are doing right now, you should love it and be consistent in that, because I feel consistency gets you more success, or makes you feel like you have actually achieved something in your life.
Right, right,
So
right.
I guess that is how it works.
That's wonderful. So that's really wonderful advice. So keep learning, be consistent. These are the two tips that Janali is giving us. That success comes to those who keep learning, and also people need to be consistent in whatever they are doing and not give up in the middle. So that was wonderful piece of advice, Janali, and it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on our show today, and I enjoyed spending time with you and talking to you today. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to our channel Indian School of Image Management on YouTube. You can also click the bell icon and get notification for our latest videos.